took me to do all of this is an hour. But due to the fact that the audio file got corrupted, I can't actually edit this video normally, basically. Sorry. Okay. So hopefully this is enjoyable for you. So, right now I'm showing you a painting of the character called Wolf from Kipo and the Wonderbeasts that I did the day before. I really liked how it turned out, so I decided to paint Kipo, the main character. Although originally I painted Wolf first because she's my favorite character. I highly recommend the show, by the way. It's on Netflix. Not sponsored at all. Wouldn't that be amazing? Anyways, as you can see, I'm pointing at the camera as if I'm talking, but don't worry, I'm not. Right now, you will see that I'm just looking up the reference picture that I will use for drawing and painting Kipo, because I did a sketch and a painting. I really liked the final result, so I hope that you like it too. Here you can see that I start trying to sketch out the character. I'm still figuring out what exactly I want to do. But as always, I start with the head by just drawing a simple circle, and then from that, just constantly looking at the reference picture and trying to match it. It doesn't have to be the exact same. I know that, which is what helps me just kind of relax, because I know that I can draw well, so it's not as if I can't do it well, or I don't think that it's gonna end up looking good. Although I didn't expect the first sketch that I did that I would like so much, it ended up really well. So much so that I couldn't bring myself to paint it. But still, here you can see that I'm just working on the jawline that I can't seem to get right. And then I draw a little line to figure out where the eyes would be. Here I start drawing the face, which is usually what scares me the most on a character, because if you don't get the proportions right, it doesn't really look like them. So luckily it didn't go as bad as I thought, and as you will see, started with the nose, since that was my way of kind of figuring out, like I start with the nose and then from there I can start to see where the proportions are supposed to be and all that, you know. I really, really enjoyed this a lot. It was a lot of fun, and I got to know what type of colors Kipo had, basically, because I've always watched the show, and of course I've seen the types of colors that her skin is and her hair and all of that, but I've never actually painted her. So it was really interesting by the time that I got to that. Then, finally working my way up to the hair. I feel like that was the most difficult part because it was very spiky hair, but it was in a way that it looked very natural. And it fit the character really well. But I don't usually draw spiky hair, and let alone one in this type of style. But I really enjoyed it. It was really nice. It was just a little bit difficult to get the hang of it. But I finally got it. So, here is the final result of the sketch. I really, really liked it. It looks just like the character. I put a little blush on it because I thought it was cute. So, yeah. So, this is where I started to be like, oh, I really like this sketch. I don't know if I should paint it or not. And then I eventually decided I'll just do the sketch again. But this time I won't try as hard and I'll just paint it to make it better. So that's what I did. So, of course, after finishing the sketch, you can see that it looks a little bit different and it's a little bit more all over the place. But since I had already done the first sketch, I got a hang of a more stylized version of the character. I really ended up liking the sketch and the painting. Both of them looked really good. I really enjoyed the hair of the second sketch. It was kind of a bummer that I had to paint over it, but it still ended up looking bomb, so you don't have to worry about that. started to grab some gouache. First, I always start with the skin, no matter what. And the skin includes blush, highlight, all of that. So I first swatched it on a piece of extra cardboard that I had. You can see that I already used it for the past paintings. But I was trying to figure out the skin color of Kipo. She has a very pinkish skin, and her whole character is pink basically. So it was kind of difficult to find a good match to her skin. But after a while I was like, you know what, it's never going to be perfect. So I just went with what I had. And it ended up looking great. So after finishing putting on or painting the skin, I decided to find a good blush color for her. Again, it was kind of difficult because I wanted it to be darker and more vibrant than her normal skin color, but I also didn't want it to be too light because that would look weird. And seeing how gouache changes colors after it dries, it was difficult guessing what would look good and what wouldn't. So after a bunch of attempts and trying to find a good color for it, I ended up finding a good shade color. So that's what I used to shade her face. My usual process is to do the skin color, then blush, then shades or shadows, and then finally to add a little perfect touch, I add the highlights close to the eyes, and the eyelids on the nose, all of that. It's my favorite part, can you tell? And then usually I go for the skin. Also right now you can see that I'm trying to blend some of it out because it was drying really weird. So it won't look like this. Just don't worry. The end result is really, really pretty. But yes, I really, really, really enjoyed it. And right now I'm pretty sure I'm putting in the highlights. And I tried putting in some highlights on her lips, but the thing is, on the reference picture that I have, Kipo doesn't have her lips. It's just like a line. So I noticed that it looked really weird, and it was taking some time to dry, so I started to get worried. And it took a few tries to fix this mistake. But the good thing with gouache is that you don't have to worry about that. You can just layer it, wait until it's dry, and then do it again. So it's fine. So after many trials and tribulations, I had to redo her skin. But now I got a really nice blush color that I really liked how it looked on her. And it blended out really, really well. Because I had just applied, oh god, I hit the camera. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You can see that I freaked out as well. Anyways, now you can see that Kipo is kind of drying a little bit better, and those little dark splotches are gonna go away eventually when it dries, because gouache dries completely matte, and I really, really like that aspect of gouache. It's one of my favorite things about it, and it was just really fun, honestly. Here you can see that I started putting on the highlights, and you see that it really gives the character a whole different dimension. Usually where I put the highlights, it's on the tip of the nose, the side of the cheek, eyelid, like the center of the eyelid or the front. I put some right on the edge of the eyebrow. I don't know really how to explain it. And then I'm pretty sure I decided to switch up the blush. No, wait, what am I doing? Oh, I'm doing the eyebrows. Sorry, I was so confused. I was like, wait, that's too dark. But yeah, I'm doing the eyebrows. Or no, wait, I'm doing the lips right now. Just a little line. I'm pretty sure. Here is when I started to do the eyes. It's usually the last step to the face. I always leave it as last because it's kind of like really relaxing and nice, and yeah, but usually sometimes I fuck it up, so I have to retouch it. Luckily this time I didn't. Oh right, I was confused for a second. Why am I doing such a bright pink? But that's because those are her eye colors. And I really, really love just the character design of Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts in general. It's so, so good. The colors are super good. They match so well, and I honestly can't get enough of it. It was so, so much fun to paint Kipo. So yeah, sorry. Right now you can see that I put a very light, bright pink at the bottom of the eyeball, and then I put a darker pink at the top. And since both of them were wet, they kind of mixed together easily. It ended up really good, although sometimes I just like to leave the line there. And then after that, I'm pretty sure I put the little dot. And if not, I'm doing the eyebrows. I'm pretty sure I'm doing the eyebrows right now. Let's see if I am doing the eyebrows. Yes, I am. Right. Yes, okay. So, hear me out. This is when I started to do the clothes. But I only did the shirt. I don't know why. I was just like, oh, I'll only do the shirt and then I'll do the jacket last or something like that. I don't understand why, but I did. And after this, what I decided to do is start with the hair. You can see, I don't know why I got frustrated right now, but I did. Alright, right now I'm just quickly adding the little earring that Kipo has. Keep in mind that this design is from Kipo 5 years after the show takes place, basically. So, yeah, I did a little dot of bright yellow, and then I mixed it in with some amber, and it made a dark-ish orange that I used to shade in the earring so that it looked a little bit more detailed. This is where I start to do or figure out the hair color. I couldn't figure out if it was a pink, a light pink, or a light lilac, or how much pink or how much purple should I put, and all of that. It was kind of hard to figure it out. And the actual color that I make the shaved side, it ends up different in the final product because you'll eventually see that I had to change it. You'll notice as well that the light is going to change because I was using natural lighting and it started to fade, so I couldn't really keep it painting that much. But I started with painting the shaved side. And since it's such a small little patch that I had to paint for the shaved side, I quickly moved on to the long hair parts. This hair color wasn't that difficult to figure it out. Although the color did start looking similar to the dry color of the shaved part that I had just applied, so it started getting me a little bit confused, and that's the reason as to why I eventually changed it into a darker tone. finishing doing the hair, I decided to quickly touch up the highlights and make them a little bit lighter. But then quickly after this, I started to shade the hair. I'm pretty sure the shading doesn't make that much sense. And as you see, I also touched up the blush because I felt like it was kind of weird and I kept on messing it up. Next time I will try to zoom in more so that you can see a little bit better because I'm noticing right now that you can't really see when I mess up or when I don't, which is kind of good for me. After finishing the hair, I started to mix up some colors to make the jacket. I noticed that the jacket was a very dark dark blue, but it wasn't, it was more on the grayish blue side than blue side, you know what I mean? So, it was kind of hard to figure it out because I also didn't want to make it too dark because I still needed to do some darker lines to add some details. So I added little dashes of white to make it better. I'm pretty sure the blue that I mixed with the black is Persian blue. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right because sometimes the color names are just insane, okay? But yes, eventually I did find a very good color match and I started filling it up. As you can see, originally I didn't fill in the collar because I thought that I would lose it, but I kind of took the risk anyways, and then I just ended up filling it all in. And then after that, when I added the shadows and the detailing, you would be able to differentiate the jacket a lot better, you know? Again, the end result ended up way better than I anticipated. I honestly did not think she would look this good, but she did. Here I'm going to start showing off the final result. You can see the cartoonish sketch and then the actual painting that ended up really well. Hopefully in a second I will show it better with more light since I had to open the honestly have no idea what I was talking about, but here's a closer look as to how it all ended up. I really loved both of the sketch and the painting. It was so much fun to do, and I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm just pointing and moving my hand. I have no idea what I'm saying, but I'm pretty sure that I'm explaining that I planned on doing more than just this painting, but it didn't work out that well, and it took an entire hour to finish this recording. Oh, I also noticed that I hadn't put in the little highlight for the eye, and now it looks perfect. But yeah, that's basically all I did. It was really fun. Here I'm just talking nonsense, but as you can see, you can both see the wolf painting that I did by myself and this sketch and painting that I did with you guys. There won't be a normal outro or anything like that, seeing how I was literally talking while I was doing this. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed, that you liked it, and that it was easy to follow. I'm sorry if I was kind of repetitive. I really don't know how to narrate things.